Hey Nathan, Jessica Peterson here. Thank you so much for speaking with me today and accepting this free video. I'm super excited you did for a couple reasons. One, it's probably been more than a decade since I've been back to Sioux Falls, but I actually went to Lincoln High School there back in the 90s. So it is kind of fun to be able to reach out and talk to people from the area. But I'm really excited because what I'm about to show you is going to make a huge impact for DryDocs, okay? And I know that the strategies I give you help because we've done it with over 50 other restoration companies just like you guys. And so I know it's going to make a significant difference. Right now, you guys have zero traffic coming to your website. And so that means you're missing out on over 60 to 70% of your jobs every month by not having these strategies in place. One thing I noticed is your website is not secure. So before we get into anything else, please get your website secured. You need a new SSL certificate. When your website is not secured, it is very hackable, and people can take over your website, hijack it. They can steal your business identity, which happens more than you think. So it can cause a lot of problems and financial problems down the road. So definitely get your website secured, okay? Now today we're talking about three major strategies. We're talking about content keyword strategy, citations, and backlinks, okay? Google did go the last 18 months to go mobile first. So having critical functions like click to call, your website being secured because that's going to block people from even accessing it. Having a good navigation system, easy to use for mobile is all important. But when it comes to ranking, content is key. It is king. Google requires that you're going to have a separate page for every single service that you offer. And let's see, you do have some pages about certain questions, which is okay, but you could actually get away with a FAQ section to do that. It looks like you have a service areas page. I don't know if you have certain or separate pages for each service area that you serve, but if it has search volume, you definitely should. And then it looks like we just have flood cleanup, mold remediation. So it looks like you have 3 pages, or at least 2 pages on 2 services, mold and flood. You definitely need, at the bare minimum, to have those pages, but really those should be broken up as well. So Google requires a minimum of a page per service so that you can focus on that entire service and focus on the local keywords for the services. They want it to be helpful as possible to your customers and to help their algorithm understand what it is you do so they can send people to your website, okay? That could be talking about different types of water intrusion and how it occurs and what happens and, you know, what your processes are, dealing with insurance, etc. Just what's going to help them, how it answers their questions, and being good information, not just generic everyday information, okay? Things that are actually helpful and focusing on those local keywords. Now this homepage here is the most critical page of the entire website because it ties everything else together. So it needs to have good quality content, and that includes images, videos, and text, okay? Any image you have on your website needs to be optimized with those local keywords. 99% of the time when your customers need service, they're not going to be searching your name because they don't even know who you are yet. Even if they saw a billboard a month or 2 ago, when they're in that position, it's 2 a.m. and their basement's flooded, they're not thinking of billboards. They are going to Google water damage restoration, water damage cleanup, flood cleanup in Sioux Falls. So it's going to be Sioux Falls flood cleanup, Sioux Falls water restoration, water damage restoration, Sioux Falls. People search differently, and you want to capitalize on those searches, okay? And with your home page being the most important page, it also needs 1,500 words of content or more. If your competitors have 1,500 words, you're going to need 1,800 to 2,000 words of content. So you can focus that content around each of the services you offer and those local keywords, okay? And then those service areas, if you do have multiple service areas, having pages for each service you can actually be found in each of those areas are going to be huge for you guys as well. Now, before I even get there, Google sends crawlers to your website, which are little mini robots, and it goes and scans every single page, all of your links, pictures, videos, and text to try and understand who you are, the services you offer, and where you offer those services. And so when you don't have that content and it doesn't have a structure or keywords, they have no idea who you serve, and so it's impossible for them to send you customers, okay? So it's really critical to have a good keyword strategy and content strategy in place, okay? Now, your top competitor in Sioux Falls for water damage is Crew, and they have a decent website. You can see they have separate pages for all of their services, easy, clean navigation, clicked calls. They actually have their form on top, which is critical. When you actually start getting traffic to your website, you want them to be able to convert. Customers will not search for information, so having everything above the fold is actually going to help you in your conversion rates. See, they have a little bit more content, but not a lot. They don't have nearly enough content that they actually need for their pages, okay? So I do think these guys are going to be beatable, but you do have to have more. You have to do better. You can see they have separate pages for all of these service areas, okay? So as long as the service area has search volume, it should have a page. And it should have pages for each service. These guys are doing blog articles, okay? And so you guys just have to do better than they're doing. That means better quality content, more content per page, more pages, more long form blog articles, and the more articles you do every month, the more fresh content you're adding to your website, the more Google loves it. So it's only going to help you, okay? Now, we know when your customers do a search, they'll do a search similar to this, and when they do, we want it to be your website that's showing up. And so there's 3 main spots on the first page of Google that can happen. And generally the first spot are going to be your ads. Those are your cost per click ads and these local service ads. And these can be very lucrative if that's what you want to do, as long as you have your processes dialed in and a solid foundation. If you don't have those in place, you're not going to get a good ROI. You're going to be disappointed, okay? Now these other 2 sections, they actually get the bulk of the search volume when people make these searches. And so this here is your Google Map Pack or your Google Business Profile. And you want yours to be showing up in this top 3 because 30% of people come straight here and they don't go anywhere else. And so if you're not one of these top 3, you're not getting calls. You're leaving 30% of your revenue on the table and handing your customers to your competition. So in order to get in this top 3, there are factors, but the biggest one is citations, and that is simply listing the name of your business, your address, phone number, and website, and placing those in a bunch of directories like the Yellow Pages, Better Business Bureau, Yelp, Angie's, House, etc. Okay, so you need more of those than your competitors, and every single one of those sends additional information to Google about your business and where you offer your services. So those are critical for you. And then this 3rd section here, this is the most important. It's called the organic section. It is so critical because 60 to 70% of people skip the ads and the maps and they come straight here. So you need your website to be showing up here when they do the searches for each of those services, okay? And so if you're not here, you're losing 60 to 70% of jobs every single month, okay? And it's important to also understand, you don't just want to be on the page. The higher up you are on this page, the more percentage of the traffic you're going to get. But being here all comes back to the foundation of this web page, this website, having the right content and keyword strategy, and then supporting that with a backlink SEO strategy. So coming to backlinks, this is Ahrefs, a paid tool we use to analyze how a website performs. So we can see here your website has a rating of a 1.7 out of 100 in Google's trust flow. And that means Google doesn't trust your website. And that does have to do with the quality of your site, but more so the power that you're sending to your site. Your website is a tool. Just like your other tools, they require power. And the way we power a website is with backlinks. So we need a lot of backlinks. We need more than our competitors have. But not all backlinks are created equal. This is a popularity contest. We only want links closely related to the types of services that we offer. The fact that you have 94 from only 55 websites and a score of 1.7 tells me you have quite a few spammy links in there that are actually hurting you instead of helping. So we only want to be going after the good quality links. Links from other home service business websites. They could be roofers, plumbers, landscapers, vendors, anything that's kind of related to what you offer. And the more of those good quality ones you get, the more authority your website gets. Your score goes up, and Google starts boosting your website, helping you get to found more. And it's going to help you rank your keywords. Because you really don't have any content, you've been indexed for 10 keywords, and you got 0 people actually coming to your website. So you're missing out on hundreds of opportunities of people landing on your website and over 60% of your monthly jobs by not having these strategies in place. And when we look at your competitor, they have a pretty low score of a 6 as well. 194 backlinks. Again, they got a lot of spam going on, so we don't need to copy their spam. We only want to copy their good links and then go and get more links and better quality and make sure we keep sending them every month. But they've been indexed for over 188 keywords, and they're getting over 200 people to their website. However, when we actually look at where their traffic is coming from, when we look at these keywords, these are not the local keywords. A lot of these are blog articles. They're only informational. They're not converting. And if we look here, this is a national keyword with over 6,000 traffic. So this 193, we don't even know if any of them are from Sioux Falls. There's no way to know, looking at this report, how much of those are even local. So it is very possible out of all that traffic, majority of it isn't even local. Okay? So again, these guys are definitely beatable for you guys. But you do need to apply these strategies that I have just shown you today. And when you do have an opportunity that you could really dominate your area. So please feel free to take this information, run with it, apply it today, drive that traffic, and start helping more people in that community. But if you find you'd rather focus on what you guys do best and you'd like a partner in growth, give us a call here at Peterson SEO. Because this is our specialty, and we specialize in working with restoration companies just like you guys. So feel free to respond back to my email, ask any questions you might have, give me a call or send me over a text. We would be happy to chat. So thanks again for watching, and I do look forward to hearing from you soon.